Donald Trump is at it again, and he is threatening to bomb regions back to Stone Age. That is what he's saying in respect or with respect to Iran, wherein he mentions bombing back them to Stone Age. Now, what does this mean? What importance this phrase holds? We will look at that, plus the history of United States of America to threaten other countries and regions, as well as the concept of carpet bombing. So it is the carpet bombing he's talking about that is going to lead Iran to the Stone Age. So what is this carpet bombing? What is the meaning of bombing back to Stone Age? When and how many times USA have threatened like this, or not just threatened, even done like this? All this and much more is what we are going to see in this video in order to understand the extremist nature of the country with respect to its history and the history of its threats to others. Now, what's the news all about? The news is about, again, Donald Trump warning, right, giving the warning of what? Bombing Iran back to the Stone Age. So what do you mean by that? See, in Stone Age, there were no modern, of course, infrastructure, etc. There were no technological advancements, so big buildings, refineries, this, that, all these things did not exist. In Stone Age, what people used to do is, even to basically burn the fire, they used basically stones. Why is it known as Stone Age? Because majority of the tools, tackles, etc. were made up of stones. They started sharpening the stone to kill the animals. They, flint stones were used to create the fire, etc. And a lot of equipment as such, even hunting equipment, were made up of stones. That is the Stone Age. People or human beings, we used to still live in caves. We were still hunter-gatherers kind of a population. So it's a very old age, or thousands of years back thing. So he is claiming that in this modern era, in 2026, he is going to make Iran like the world was in the Stone Age. That means threatening to destroy anything and everything that Iran has created. That is what this threat is all about. Now, this statement is basically supported by the US defense leadership. The US defense is supporting that. And see, US is a very powerful, the most powerful defense country with respect to defense. Their expenditure on defense is more than the combined expenditure of the next 10 countries. So it is damn powerful. It of course raises concerns of carpet bombing and international violation of international humanitarian law. So we'll see what this carpet bombing is. Not just this, it highlights the historical continuity of US military rhetoric, of US threats, and the execution of these threats, which have taken millions of lives, including the civil lives as well. Now, what is the meaning of bombing to Stone Age? I have already told you, refers to destruction of the complete modern infrastructure or things that are present, so that you are sort of going back to the Stone Age. Targets will include energy infrastructure, communications, civilian institutions, hospitals, this, that. Did all these things exist in Stone Age? No. So destroy it, get them back to Stone Age is what he wants. Objective is to cripple the entire functioning of the country. Now, what is the legal and ethical dimension of this? Now, these kind of threats, etc., are governed by the international humanitarian law. You cannot threaten and then execute basically the civilians and execute your threat which can kill the civilians over there, right? So the key principle that is involved here is the distinction between civilians and combatants. Right? If a war is going on, the combatants will combat against each other, but the civilians should not be involved. See, here USA is wrong on that part also, because USA has been the aggressor and attacked Iran unprovokedly. So even that is a concern. But even if you leave that, the concern is now the talks of civilians. Civilians have been, in fact, from the very initial attacks itself, civilians were killed, wherein the girls' school was hit and over 150, 160 girls had lost their lives. So civilians were killed then also, and now he's threatening even more. They are being killed even now as well, plus more threats are coming over here, right? So what is the origin of the phrase? See, this phrase was popularized by Curtis LeMay in the context of the Vietnam War. Now, as I have told you previously as well, somehow the wars are named after the country who were actually the victims. But of course, there can be a very funny reason for that. Reason being, if you start naming wars with respect to the country who is the aggressor, what's going to happen? A lot of the wars will be named what? USA war, USA war, USA war, USA war. And then you will not be able to differentiate. Maybe that is one ironic reason of it. But yes, we should still find better ways to name the wars. As you can see, it's always, not always, but many times it's the victim country on whose name the name of the war is there. Anyway, coming back to this, the origin of the phrase goes back to the Vietnam War. Now, this phrase was basically considered to be the strategic bombing doctrine, was known as the strategic bombing doctrine. Right? What is this strategic bombing doctrine? It is basically a bombing doctrine which will lead to Stone Age, which we will see later. That bombing technique is carpet bombing. Now, if you look at the case studies with respect to how USA has threatened like this and done like this, we have 3 case studies over here. First is the Vietnam War. USA escalated from the advisory role to full-scale intervention in Vietnam. So it has done that in Vietnam, intervened in Vietnam. Next is the Gulf War. So USA has, of course, been present in the Gulf previously also. If you talk about Iraq, for example, right? So Iraq's invasion of Kuwait was the trigger, wherein US-led coalition launched the Operation Desert Storm. Okay, so that was there. Then you have third case study, that is post 9/11 era. So after the 9/11 or September 11 attacks, it started global war on terror. Now, global war on terror is actually good. You should have war on terror. But in the name of global war of terror, started attacking other countries, killing civilians, intervening too much. And we see what is happening now as well. Right? So certain things would be good. You stop terror. That is a good thing. But in the name of stopping the terror, you cannot kill the innocents. That needs to be remembered, which somehow seems to have been forgotten. Now, what is the broader implication of this? The pattern of coercive military diplomacy is back, wherein the dialogue diplomacy is taking a back seat, right? Not just small conflict, but proper coercive military diplomacy is happening. Now, over the years, the concept of carpet bombing was changed to precision bombing, but now he is still going back to carpet bombing. Let us understand these concepts now. So precision bombing means what? See, for example, surgical strikes that India did, those were precision targets, precision attack. We had terror attack in our country, so we had to then demolish or destroy the terrorist camps. We did that. We had a terror attack again in April 2025. So we again responded to the terror attack with precision and destroyed exactly what the terror outfits or terror hideouts or terror infrastructures were there. Who said that they were terror infrastructures? The terrorists from the other side of the border themselves have previously said that we used to be trained over here. This is what our hideout is, this, that, and we have attacked exactly that. And of course, we also have our own intelligence. But if we say it is our own intelligence, we are saying it, people may not agree, but they themselves, the terrorists themselves, when they were previously caught, Richard Headley, etc., who were caught, they have said that this is where the places of hideouts, training, etc. are there. We destroyed them. Now, that is precision targeting, right? But opposite to it is carpet bombing. In carpet bombing, what you do is, you can see this is carpet bombing. See, your target may be somewhere here. Instead of attacking that directly, you are doing carpet bombing. That means destroying the entire region with bombs. You are simply laying the bombs like a carpet, and hence known as carpet bombing. And if you do this all over the country, you are going to destroy anything and lead the country back to Stone Age. This is the threat that Donald Trump has given to Iran, and that's the concept of carpet bombing. The issue here, of course, is the civilian casualties that will be there. Of course, the infrastructure will collapse. There will be lack of food, clothing, shelter, LPG, this, that, petrol, etc. Everything is going to take a back seat, and people will not have that. People will have to fight for that. It is going to create havoc. At the same time, long-term instability it will lead to, but the direct impact is people are going to lose lives, and that will include huge amount of civilians, because majority of the population of a country is civilians. Millions of them are going to lose their life. So common sense, or you can say humanity, has to prevail. Other countries needs to step up in order to put pressure on the United States of America that this cannot go on forever and it has to stop. Thank you.